Hi, I'm Katie, and we did our PolyX project on zoonotic diseases, but more specifically, the zoonotic disease rabies. The overall purpose of this study was to educate the public about rabies and the effects it has on the United States and other countries. This study investigated the major factors that cause rabies and how they can be dealt with. To take action against this disease, we set up a survey that got the information out. The survey also involved other steps to solving this issue, which include setting up a vaccination clinic to get people to vaccinate their dogs and themselves, and we got possible volunteers to aid with these clinics and aid towards the eradication of the zoonotic disease that is rabies.
Hi, I'm Marlene Garibaldo, and I'm going to be talking about the causes of rabies. So, rabies can spread from animals to humans, and the animals could spread it to another animal and then to a human. So infected animals spread the virus with their infected saliva by biting or licking other animals or humans. Rabies is spread when infected saliva gets into an open wound or the mucous membrane, such as the mouth or eyes. So if there's a little wound, the infected saliva gets in there and infects the other animal. So this diagram shows how rabies works its way up into the brain and other parts of the human body. So first, the animal bites the human, the virus enters the one through the saliva, the virus multiplies, and then the virus travels up through the spinal cord and up to the brain, where it infects the brain neurons. And finally, the virus spreads through the nerves to the salivary glands, cornea, skin, and other organs. And then, how I had said before, a scratch from an infected animal can cause rabies. Bat saliva in the air, Lissa virus, and bite from an infected animal.
Hi, my name is Nataley Duncan, and I will be discussing the symptoms of rabies in both animals and humans. So symptoms of the disease are quite similar, like fever, nausea, vomiting, and difficulty swallowing. However, there is some different symptoms, like humans infected with the disease can experience agitation and partial paralysis, while animals infected experience nerve dysfunction and usually abnormal behavior.
Hello, my name is Wendy Viviano, and I'll be talking about the rabies disease. So I will basically talk about the facts and the solutions that we came up as a group. So for the facts for rabies is that it can cause the brain and spinal cord to inflame and swell, which in most cases it is fatal. There are two forms of rabies. There is the furious rabies and paralytic rabies. The difference between the two is that furious rabies can consist of hallucinations and hyperactivity, whereas paralytic rabies is characterized by paralysis and even coma. Rabies is more prevalent in Asia and Africa, where it's considered a tropical disease. Rabies is estimated to kill about 59,000 humans annually in about 150 countries, but Africa and Asia obtain 95% of those cases. This disease is more often found in wild and domestic animals. In Asia, Africa, and Tanzania and Bhutan, the estimated mortality was at least 55,000 human deaths because of rabies. For solutions, we set up a survey to educate others on rabies. We posted this survey on our social media and gathered results. In this survey, we wanted to see how many people were aware of of the rabies disease, and within the survey, we also applied informative information about rabies to educate those taking the survey. So the results were that 95% of the people knew what zoonotic diseases are, which basically they are diseases that could be spread from animal to human and vice versa. We also gathered that only 9.7% of the people were informed on the rabies disease. So lastly, we also discovered that 64.5% of people do not know how to prevent rabies and were unaware of what happens when someone comes in contact with that disease, which in most cases it is deadly. So after our discoveries, we are more motivated to educate others, because we want to make sure that pet owners do vaccinate their pets to keep them healthy and keep themselves healthy as well. So we want to bring more awareness, so we're also thinking about creating campaigns and maybe vaccine booths where we provide pamphlets that are very informative. So all in all, those are all the solutions and facts that we discovered and came up with throughout our research on the rabies disease. Other than that, thank you so much for listening on this portion of the video on the solutions and facts.
Hello, my name is Fernanda Ulloa, and for my project, it is zoonotic diseases. What I'm going to be talking about are the preventions for the U.S. and the third world countries. So for the preventions in the U.S., humans can get vaccinated against rabies. Humans can get their pets vaccinated against rabies. People can keep their pets supervised and make sure they do not come in contact with wild animals. If your pet is small, protect them from predators. Do not interact with any stray animals as they can have rabies. Keep bats away from your house. Do not approach wild animals. If you are going to travel, make sure to be vaccinated and try to avoid wild animals. And for the preventions for third world countries include, since the third world countries do not have the vaccination for rabies, there are other ways to prevent the spread of rabies. A way to prevent rabies in third world countries is to spread the information about rabies. We can set up my group decided we could set up a website to spread the information about rabies and how one can prevent getting it. We can also make leaflets and posters to spread the information about rabies. We also thought we can help set up a vaccination center in certain third world countries to allow people to get the vaccine against rabies. We also thought, along with setting up a vaccination center, we can also help set up a campaign that would help spread the awareness for rabies. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Esmeralda, and I'll be talking about the conclusion of our project. Rabies can cause the brain and spinal cord to inflame and swell. There are two forms of rabies. There's furious rabies and paralytic rabies. Furious rabies can consist of hallucinations and hyperactivity, while paralytic rabies is characterized by paralysis and can even lead to a comatose state. Rabies is a disease of the central nervous system and is able to spread between animals and humans. Although there is no cure for the disease, preventative measures can be taken. We have started this process by trying to educate the public about rabies and the symptoms caused by rabies.